and it was amazing. And we hit it off right away. And when I met her, I had recently learned how to be good with women because I was terrible up until that point. And
how
truly...
How do you learn?
Oh, it's really simple. You must be willing to walk away. And you must be worthy. I don't know your audience well enough. I'm going to give you the truth. You can edit it out if you want.
Say the truth. We'll leave it in.
So here is the reality. Think about, just hold it in your mind for a second, what sex really is. Okay, the messy reality of what sex is. You have to go from hi, my name is, to that. To do that, you must be worthy of that. Now, you might be able to trick them into doing it once, but I've gotten my wife to do that for 22 years. You have to be worthy. So 1, you have to be worthy. 2, you have to have confidence, meaning you recognize your worth. And because you recognize your worth, you're going to act completely as you are, who you are, because it does not make sense to get somebody into a relationship that's not going to work. So broadcast who you are and be willing to walk away. So if you are worthy of someone inviting you into their body, and that is an amazing, incredible moment that you guys can share, and it's your real partners in that act, because I'm very much not don't get with somebody that you can dominate and push around. Get with somebody who is your equal. We can go into that as much as you want. I have very strong feelings. But you want to do that, and you need to understand that you have that worth, that you've done the work, that you're good at something that matters, and then that you don't need that person. And that even if you feel like you need that person and they're the only one for you and all that, the second you act like that, they will become elusive. You'll never get them. And you can't tolerate the friend zone or anything like that. Like, I'll give you an example. I never had to say this to my wife, but if I had thought I was sliding into the friend zone, I would just say, like, hey, if I'm not what you're looking for, totally respect that. You are lovely, and I wish you the best in everything. I'm not interested in the friend zone. All the best to you. And, if I can be a reference or whatever, let me know. But this is where we part ways. And at that point, and I am very good at this, I would flip a switch in my mind and I would never think about that person again. You have to.
How long did it take you to develop that sort of mindset, though?
23 years.
Really?
And what was there an event or an inflection point where you're like, oh, got it?
If you want to get good at something, find somebody who's already good at that. Go to them and ask them, what do you do? Beg for the absolute truth, and then when they tell you, believe them. I went to George Leonardopoulos. George got laid left, right, and center. And I said, George.
Is he Greek?
He is Greek.
Okay.
Is he like a famous guy or something?
Not at all.
No, he's just Greek, man.
And
they're naturally
just a Greek
very
guy.
Well, so
charismatic.
Bad news is George was very charismatic and very good looking. And
did he have an accent, though?
He did not. Grew up in America, so he didn't have that going for him. But very charming. And I said, George, what's the secret? Because I am terrible with women. And he said, oh, you just have to be a dick to them. And I wanted to bang my head on the table. And I was like, one, I know him, and he isn't a dick. So he's saying something, and it's so cliche. So finally, I was like, I'm not going to reject this, because the guy I know that is the way that I want to be with women is telling me that that's his secret. He's telling me in sincerity. He's wrong, but he's telling me sincerely. So what does he actually mean? And then I realized, oh, he's always himself and he's willing to walk away. And I was like, that's so interesting. And so he isn't like, oh, what do you want? What do you like? Which then just puts you in this, like, you're there to
placate them.
Yeah, like it just makes you, okay, I'm just going to say the real words. You, in my estimation, if you want to be good with the typical female, you need to be self-assured, confident, strong, very good at something that they care about, and you need to embody all of that. And then you need to be wildly interested in who they are, make them feel better about themselves when they're around you than when they're not, and them feel like, whoa, this person really lifts me up, but they're honest and they tell me the truth and they don't ever pull punches. And if they say something that I don't like, I'm going to let them know that I don't like that. Very calmly, but just, hey, I like this, I don't like that. And I was shocked at how intoxicating the woman who is now my wife, and she will be the first to tell you that it didn't work only on her. I had a chance to test this out before meeting her and realized, and it was night and day. Could not get laid, flip a switch, very successful with women, and I was laughing. I was like, I can't believe this is true. And then flashing back on my life, there was this girl that I really liked in high school, and she used to always say, when we're not dating, you're super cool. And the second we're dating, you're not yourself. And I couldn't understand what she meant. And so then I played it back and I was like, oh my God, it's because I had fear of loss. And so when we weren't dating, I didn't have fear of loss because we weren't together. So it's just who I am. That would get her attracted. We would date. And then because I liked her so much, I had fear of loss. So I started trying to act the way I thought she wanted me to act. But then I'm not interesting. There's no sort of power in that. There's just someone supplicating themselves to you. It's just not interesting.
That's interesting.
So by flipping that switch, everything in my life changed. Now, I've only told one woman that I loved her. I've been in a committed relationship for 22 years. So if anybody thinks they hear me saying I'm a Lothario or a playboy, that's not my life at all. But I am telling you that it is a game of psychology. And if you don't play it well, you will lose. And so all the guys out there right now that are losing, it is 100% their fault. It is not society. It is nothing other than you do not understand the psychology of the person that you're sitting across from, that you're trying to effectively sell yourself to. And because I took the time to actually figure out what that is, the complexities. Because right now you hear red pill shit, be dominant, they're your property. The really terrible advice. Find a partner. Find somebody who can challenge you, but be yourself. Challenge them. Be worthy. Be good. Push yourself every day. Be aggressive. Be hardcore. Try to take up as much space as you can. Try to mansplain anything that you're passionate about. Don't be hesitant at all. And then shut up and make sure that you're giving them that space and you're drawing that out of them and you show how much you respect them and how interested you are in them, and find somebody you actually care about so that this isn't a game. And then just be open and honest, and it's incredible. My wife is my equal in every conceivable way on balance. But there are things that I'm way better than her at, and in those moments I lead. And there are things that she's way better than me at, and in those moments I follow. And because I can do both of those, but I am not at all afraid to take the lead, then you get an interesting dynamic.
How has your dynamic changed over 20 years?
Ooh, brother. So when she became an entrepreneur, that was the rockiest period in our life.